You know, Christmas is my favorite time of the year, and here at Ag Life, we always try to bring an inspirational story. I'm going to introduce you to a guy, Larry Koester. He inspired me. I know he's going to inspire you. Well, Larry, it's an honor to be set with a three-time national champion. Tell me about all the awards that you've won.
Well, we won 3 championships, but it took me 15 years to win my first one. We've been very lucky to get in a sport where, you know, a lot of the farm-type people, you know, agriculture and trucking industry, and just motorheads in general. You know, guys that race, guys that drag race. We're kind of like drag racing in the dirt. You know, the biggest honor is when you do win a championship.
We're going to go back to July 5th, 1986, a day in your life that really changed things for you.
Well, you know, it was a day like any other day. Ashley was 3 and Adam was 5 months old. He was just a tiny little baby, and so I'm mowing around on my dad's tractor. He had a 5000 Ford tractor, which a lot of the farmers would know about as a pretty good sized tractor with a chopper on the back, a loader on the front, and I'd been on this thing my whole life and had mowed around here and I was getting close to being done, and I came up here. I loaded up some little drywall pieces in the loader bucket, and I told my wife, I said, "You get ready, we're going to this party. And I'm gonna take the tractor back to my dad's, and when I get back, we'll go to the party." And so, you know, I don't know. I don't remember anything after that, but I went down that driveway, and our driveway's like 1,000 foot long, and there's a real steep bank. At that time, it was real steep, and my dad had always told me, "Don't you get on that bank." So I didn't get on the bank, but I must have missed a place up in the field, and got up in the field with that tractor with the loader bucket up in the air. And you know, everybody that drives a tractor knows that you don't run around with that loader bucket up in the air, but it was full of drywall. And so somewhere I must have got too close to the bank, and the bank broke away and the tractor fell upside down. And when it did, it pinned me underneath it. And so the tractor's laying there, and the neighbor girl saw it happen, and she got a hold of my parents and my brothers, and they all came down, and this, by then the gas was running out of it, and when they was pulling on it, evidently the battery came out of the box and sparked and ignited all the gas. So now it's on fire. So they're all down there, and they finally jerked the tractor enough to get me out from underneath it, but I'd already quit breathing, and my brother ended up getting me back to life, and then they called a life flight and flew me to Evansville.
So you spent 4 months in Indianapolis in a hospital, over 4 months, July 5th, and you're going to be released October 31st. But you come home to this wonderful homecoming.
The whole town was out. I mean,
it's like a parade.
It was like there was yellow ribbons on every tree, every telephone pole coming into St. Wendell for 3 miles. Every front yard had a sign with my name and "Welcome home, Larry."
And then when you get back home, I mean, that was uplifting, but then you're settled back into reality, the accident of that. And then there's a special little girl that says some words to you that's kind of the inspiration of the story to me.
Well,
the words that were said.
You know, the funny thing about that, Scott, is I was sitting right here, but on the floor. You know, and I had a burn suit on because I had burnt 42% of my body, and I was depressed. I'm sitting right here on the floor, and Ashley is in the back bedroom, which is down the hallway, and she's hollering for me, you know, "Daddy, Daddy, you got to come here." And I'm thinking. And I tried to put myself in my chair, and I wasn't strong enough. I was 136 pounds maybe at that time, and I could not pick myself and put myself in a chair. So what I still do is I knuckled and butt and knuckled and butt and knuckled and butt back through this and down the hallway and in her room. And when I get in her room, I'm crying because I'm so upset with myself. And here's a little 3-year-old baby. She looks at me and she's got tears in her eyes, and she walks across the room and she goes, puts her arm around my neck and she goes, "Don't cry, Daddy. I love you, eat without your legs." And I'm like,
oh my.
oh.
Those words changed everything, though,
Well,
didn't they?
you know, she was, all the people that came here was telling me, "Oh, we're so sorry." But nobody told me what that baby told me, is that I love you just the way you are.
Yeah. But she took you from your lowest point to where you are today.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, I never looked back.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's take a break. We'll come back. We want to look at your business. I got to see some of these tractors that I've read about. I want to see them in person. You show me the business, and we'll continue with the Larry Koester story when we come back right after this.